Welcome students, teachers, and families to the BAS Virtual Creativity Center. Today we'll be celebrating Earth Day by creating nature mandalas and exploring Agua Dulce by Abraham Cruz Villegas. Now, a lot of the time when you picture art, you picture painting, drawings, sculptures maybe. Agua Dulce is very unique because it's considered installation art. Installation art is an artistic genre of three-dimensional works that are often site-specific and designed to transform the perception of space. Look at how much Agua Dulce has changed in the last year. Abraham Cruz Villegas creates his own environment here in Collins Park, right in front of the BAS Museum. He created Agua Dulce using native South Florida plants, performers mimicking birds, and locally sourced materials to create benches. Today, we'll be learning more about the BAS Museum of Art, exploring art outside, talking about Abraham Cruz Villegas' Agua Dulce, and discussing Earth Day and the reasons why Earth Day is so important. We'll finish by creating nature mandalas. Feel free to pause this video throughout your Earth Day celebration to jot down notes or ask questions. We'll take a little pop quiz at the end. The BAS Museum, Miami Beach's contemporary art museum, creates connections between international contemporary art and the museum's diverse audiences. The BAS shares the power of contemporary art through experiences that excite, challenge, and educate. The BAS Museum of Art opened in 1964 through the donation of a private collection by John and Joanna Bass to the city of Miami Beach. John and Joanna Bass had a collection of over 500 works, including old master paintings, textiles, sculptures, even a mummy. The founding Bass collection of historic objects and old masters can be seen regularly on view within the context of contemporary artworks. The museum opened in what was formerly the Miami Beach Public Library and Art Center. The museum was built in the 1930s and is considered an Art Deco historical building designed by Russell Pencoast, the grandson of Miami Beach pioneer John Collins. The original structure of the building is made out of keystone, which is a type of limestone collected from the Florida Keys. Limestone is a type of mineral that collects marine deposits that have accumulated in Florida over millions of years, during times when the state was covered over with seawater or shallow marshes. Now let's explore Art Outside. Art Outside is an interactive exhibition of contemporary public art in Collins Park and throughout Miami Beach, with works ranging from monumental sculpture, neon, to sound and wall murals, and participatory works. Art Outside is a public art exhibition initiated by the BAS that offers residents and visitors the opportunity to see and experience a network of public artworks throughout the city of Miami Beach. Conceived in light of the socially distant world due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Art Outside takes the form of a curated exhibition expanding beyond the BAS's Collins Park campus. Have you ever noticed art outside of your home? Now let's explore Agua Dulce. Agua Dulce is an installation piece created by artist Abraham Cruz Villegas. Abraham Cruz Villegas was born in 1968 in Mexico City. He refers to his art practice as autoconstrucción, the construction and adaptation of one's reality and identity through a similar process characterized by improvisation, necessity, and philosophy. His artistic process is deeply influenced by his surroundings. Rather than being defined by a particular medium, many of his projects are linked by the platform autoconstrucción. Extending from Collins Avenue along the central promenade of the park leading up to the museum entrance, Agua Dulce is a large-scale sculptural installation encompassing nearly 14,000 square feet. The piece was commissioned by the museum, and the project will bring the artist's philosophy of autoconstrucción, or self-construction, a practice of resilience and generosity, to the BAS's Collins Park. Here are a few sketches made by Abraham Cruz Villegas. You'll notice how he uses different shapes colors, and textures in order to plan and map out what he wanted for this exhibition. We've been documenting the growth of all of the plants in Agua Dulce. Here's a shot of the plants nearest to Collins Avenue back in January of 2021. Now here's a clip of the plants in April of 2021. Notice how much the plants have grown. Here's the latest footage of Agua Dulce in the same exact area. This was taken in April of 2022. You'll notice how a lot of the plants have grown significantly. Some of the plant species measure up to 3 feet in height and were so tall that they collapsed to their sides. Plants provide us with food, fiber, shelter, medicine, and fuel. The basic food for all organisms is produced by green plants. In the process of food production, oxygen is released. When thinking about the different elements in STEAM, STEAM standing for Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts, and Mathematics, you can clearly see how 𝐴𝑟 had to consider and use all 5 elements. He used science when researching the different South Florida native plant species. Something he had to consider was the location of Collins Park. Because Collins Park is located right next to Miami Beach, the plants need to have a high tolerance for salt, because a lot of the times the salt and the sand from the ocean blows over through the wind into Collins Park. Here at the museum, we also use technology, not only in our exhibitions, but for your safety. 𝐴𝑟 also used technology to connect with our exhibition team and staff. A lot of the time, they would connect via Zoom, phone call, or email, just like you most likely connected with your teachers and your family throughout COVID. 𝐴𝑟 also had to use engineering along with our exhibitions team. They had to engineer a water system in order to ensure that all of the plants continue to get watered. He also had to use his engineering skills to create these 9 beautiful benches. The outdoor installation, which uses locally sourced materials, works within our changed reality, where enclosed spaces are perceived as less safe, to imagine the park as an exhibition space, where the landscape is reclaimed by native species and where visitors can sit on the benches and use this space as a place for healing and reflection. Each bench has 3 primary colors. Do you know your primary colors? That's yellow, red, and blue. He also incorporated 3 of the same shapes: a triangle, a circle, and a square. Using these 3 different shapes, he created 9 benches, no 2 benches alike. 𝐴𝑟 used art when imagining and creating this amazing installation. Utilizing their math skills, 𝐴𝑟 and our exhibitions team had to work together. They had to first measure out Collins Park to ensure that they had enough room and space to plant all of those amazing plants. They also needed to use their mathematical skills to find certain angles and measure and ensure that when they created the benches, it was safe for everyone to sit and enjoy the park. Have you ever considered how you use all elements of STEAM in your everyday life? In the museum, we have all kinds of different careers, and each staff member at the museum has to use all 5 elements of STEAM, from our education team to our operations team that ensures that our building is safe and secure at all times, from our exhibitions team who help put up the exhibitions, to our curatorial team who decide what artists and pieces go where. Everyone at the Bass Museum uses elements of STEAM. Every year we celebrate Earth Day here at the Creativity Center. Though we can't all physically be together, there's no reason why we can't celebrate together. This year we'll be celebrating by learning more about 𝐴𝑟 Agua Dulce and creating some nature mandalas, which you can leave for future guests to see outside on your sidewalk or in your garden, or create a nature mandala card and give to someone you love. Just be sure to stay safe and listen to your local COVID-19 policies. Every Earth Day, we try and promote clean living and a healthy, sustainable habitat for people and wildlife alike. Celebrating Earth Day serves as a conscious reminder of how fragile our planet is and how important it is to protect it. Utilizing numerous species of floral, fauna, and mineral, performers mimicking native birds, and seating that the artist constructed with locally sourced materials, Agua Dulce will form a plant environment in front of the museum, free for the public to enjoy. Through collaborative research with local experts on native flora, 𝐂𝐫𝐴 selected around 25 different species to create the installation of more than 1,000 plants. Many of the included species, like the coastal plain willow, have medicinal properties which are regularly used today. For example, the coastal plain willow plant is used to reduce pain and fever. It actually features some of the chemicals you find in aspirin. The Indian blanket flower is one of my favorite species you can find inside Agua Dulce. The Indian blanket flower prefers dry, open areas with sandy, well-drained soil. They're usually found in warm coastal areas. Native Americans found many medicinal uses for the flower, including tea of root for gastritis. They also chewed the powdered root and applied it to their skin whenever they had any disorders. Here you can see some bees pollinating the Indian blanket flower. Pollination is where insects move pollen from one plant to another, fertilizing the plant so that they can produce fruit, vegetables, seeds, and so much more. Here you'll see the green sweat bee. The green sweat bee was given its name because it's attracted to salt. A lot of the plants here in Agua Dulce have to have a high tolerance of salt because we're located right across the street from the beach. Green sweat bees are also known because they like to land on humans. They're friendly bees, and they come to us because sometimes we're a little sweaty, and our sweat consists of salt. Another plant species you'll find in Agua Dulce is the saw palmetto. The saw palmetto grows on a wide variety of sites, from dry and open to seasonally wet and semi-shady areas. The Seminole tribe and other natives would eat its fruits, create tonics, thatch dwellings, weave baskets, and create cords using its fibers. The plant was a source of oil and wax and had many medicinal benefits. The flowers attract bees, which also provide honey. The fruits and the flowers provide a sweet fragrance that attracts a number of different insects. Since Agua Dulce has been installed in Collins Park, we've seen a number of new insect species throughout the park. Thanks to Agua Dulce and the habitat that it's created, we've seen a number of different butterflies. We've seen the skipper butterflies, which has an array of different species and colors. We've seen the monarch butterflies, the Atala butterflies, and even the endangered Miami blue butterfly. This is because a number of the different South Florida native plants that Abraham Cruz Villegas chose for Agua Dulce are considered host plants for these different insect species. Host plants are a big part of the insect world, so today we're going to talk a little bit about them. Host plants are plants that an organism lives on and lives off of. Think of the pickiest eater you know. They might not like a wide variety of food, but they probably still eat more than one thing. Imagine only being able to eat one thing. That's why it's so important to do your research before gardening. For example, the Atala butterfly is an endangered butterfly species that relies on the arrowroot plant. Thankfully, Abraham Cruz Villegas planted a number of arrowroot plants, so now the Atala butterflies are thriving in Collins Park. Here, you see an egret walking through Agua Dulce. This exhibition doesn't only host insects, but it also hosts a number of different reptiles, amphibians, and birds, just like this one. Whether you're in school or at home, you can help celebrate Earth Day with us today. Before starting today's Earth Day activity, it's important that you find the perfect place to create your mandala. You can do this activity outdoors since we'll be using all organic materials. It'll be safe to leave your artwork outside for others to see. Or you can gather all of your materials and create your piece inside. You can even glue down your mandala to a sheet of paper and share it with some family and friends. A mandala is a geometric shape that means circle in Sanskrit. It is a common design among many different cultures and often appears as the sun, moon, and earth. In Hinduism and Buddhism, a mandala is a symbol representing the universe and life. The circular design is meant to express the concept that everything is connected in life. At the Bass, we have an amazing piece called 𝐴𝑟𝑡 𝑂𝑢𝑡𝑠𝑖𝑑𝑒 by Sanford Biggers. This piece transforms his use of the mandala, which is sometimes defined as a doorway between heaven and earth, from a viewed surface into a physical experience, effectively allowing the viewer the sensation of being inside of a mandala. Take a moment to look around you. Do you see anything that resembles a mandala? Sometimes mandalas can be found in architecture like buildings or in fashion. We also have mandalas in nature. A nature mandala is similar to a mandala symbol. A nature mandala is also known as an integrated structure organized around a unifying center. It is a circular and non-permanent symbol using patterns to represent the circle of life. They are also made with organic materials found in nature. Mandalas are one of the earliest forms of art. Mandalas have been used all around the world for religious purposes and spiritual purposes. It is one of nature's most wonderful and perfect configurations. You can find mandalas in flowers, tree rings, the sun, by looking at someone's eyes, looking at snowflakes, spiderwebs, seashells, seeds, fruits. Today, we'll be creating nature mandalas. It's important to know what the focal point of your mandala is. The focal point of a painting or an art piece is an area of emphasis that demands the most attention and to which the viewer's eye is drawn to, pulling you into that piece. We'll also be using symmetry, ensuring that our mandalas are symmetrical. Symmetry in everyday language refers to the sense of harmonious and beautiful proportion and balance. First, you'll need to gather all of your materials. For today's activity, all you'll need are organic materials. The goal is to create your mandala and leave it outdoors so that people visiting you can see your artwork outside. You'll need at least a minimum of 30 organic materials. Organic materials meaning leaves, flowers, twigs, rocks, seeds, acorns, anything that the earth produces. Try your best to gather materials that have already fallen from the ground. Remember, we're celebrating the earth. We don't want to pluck any flowers, nearby plants, or trees. Try to find items that have fallen to the ground. And before bringing them indoors, make sure that you don't bring in any unwanted friends or critters. Be sure to stay safe, wear your mask, and wash your hands once you're done. Step 1 to making your nature mandala. Find your center. Discuss how you plan to help restore the earth. Think about why it's so important we all work together to help heal the earth. Then select an item from the materials you found. This will be your unifying center. You can layer the items on the center. As an option, if you have paper and pencil, you can also write a short message. I wrote reduce, reuse, recycle on the back of my heart, and on the front I put family because that's what's most important to me on earth. What are some steps we can do to help restore the earth? Here are a few examples. Speak up for the earth. Plant a forest, tree, or garden. Prevent pollution and educate others. Bike more, drive less. Volunteer for cleanups. Conserve water. Research before you buy. Add reusable eating utensils to your everyday carry. Bring reusable bags when shopping, and make your next meal plant-based. Step 2. Create your mandala. After you've created your unifying center, use other items you've gathered to form the rest of your mandala. Place items near the center first, and then continue moving outward from the center until you've created a circular design. Remember, we want to try and stay symmetrical, meaning all sides are even and balanced. If you have leftover supplies from your nature scavenger hunt, you can go ahead and make an Earth Day card. Using glue, a sheet of paper, and your organic materials, you can go ahead and create a mandala card just like mine. You can write down in the center ways you would like to improve the earth, or write Earth Day, and then create your mandala around it. Once the glue's dried, you can go ahead and give it to someone you love and care for, or keep it for yourself. Thank you so much for joining us for our virtual Earth Day celebration. I wish we could be together in person, but I'm so glad you were able to connect with us virtually. Don't forget to take pictures and share with us your amazing artwork so we can share it with our community. Tag us using Bass Creativity Center or our hashtag. And feel free to pass by Agua Dulce in Collins Park and the Bass Museum. The museum is open Wednesdays through Sunday from 12 to 5 p.m. And if you're a Miami Beach resident, admission is free. For more information, visit thebass.org or email me at KILLA@thebass.org. Thank you so much. We hope you have an amazing Earth Day. Stay safe and be well.